inspired a whole generation. My generation at least is from "You Can Win" is totally the whole mantra for our generation now. For this generation, this is a totally different world that they're going into, right? How do you, what do you tell them that how should they look at success for themselves? And most of the people who are viewing this channel are students and parents. Marks, the importance of marks still remains there. Although we know marks don't have important significance in long-term success, yet we, as parents, as children, we all tend to focus on marks, to get the marks. What's your take on that? Especially you're speaking about how your grades were something out of the ordinary. What's your take on parents? How should parents and students be approaching their schooling years in order for long-term success in life?
Amol, my take on this is, you see, grades in school are important, but they do not determine success, success or failure in life. Now, today, parents or even teachers, they equate grades with success, and sadly, that is what brings dejectment, low self-esteem, and even suicide amongst kids today. You see, if they don't get good grades, they confuse failing as failure. Well, I might have failed, but that does not mean I'm a failure.
Interesting take on those two.
Okay, there is a huge difference. I might have failed, but that does not mean I'm a failure. See, I recall very distinctly, I came 27th out of 28 kids because the 28th was absent. No kidding. And my principal used to call my parents and tell them, get this kid out of the school. He's one kid who's going to bring the average of the school down. I was the one. My principal used to call my parents. And in my 10th grade, I repeated my class. I failed. But
I don't think a lot of people know this about
no,
Shiv Khera.
well, in my program I tell them, but but in my higher secondary, there were 3 people in arts who got a first division. I was one of them.
What happened?
Multiple things. I mean, that will take a little long time. But I just want to bring one point here, that there is a lot more in life to grades in life. Now, today, education has 2 components. One teaches us how to make a living, the other teaches us how to live. And sadly, NASCOM, many other surveys are saying that graduates coming out of schools today, they are not employable. You know why? They know how to make a living, but they don't know how to live. Now, let me clarify.
Even how to make a living is also the content. They are all subjected.
True.
Something which we don't.
But now coming back to technology, with the speed of change, the way things are happening today, products are getting obsolete the day they're getting launched. Sir, knowledge is getting obsolete within 2 to 3 years. Check out engineering graduates. By the time they get to the 4th year, what they learned the first year became obsolete. Medical graduates, by the time they get to the 4th and the 5th year, what they learned the first year became obsolete.
So what's the value of information?
Coming. Mercedes, my client, one of the senior executives wrote that going into the future, our competitors will not be automobile manufacturers, they will be Googles and Amazons. And the kind of thing we never imagined in life, flying taxis. Well, if you're flying taxis, where are you going to have traffic jam? Not on the street, but in the air. What are you going to do?
Just like Rado would never have expected Apple to become a competitor, right?
Now,
Rado has Apple as a competitor for their watches now.
Yeah.
Who would have imagined that?
Yeah. Now the only thing is, literally it has become a cliche, the only constant is change. Yeah. Now, if that is the case, then either we are in deep trouble or we have a great opportunity for those who are prepared. But when we say those who are prepared in what? When we don't know what's coming.
Yeah, it's a fluid thing.
How do you prepare for the unknown?
It's a moving, the unknown target.
Okay.
Right? There's
Now,
target.
no, I wrote an article which I'm sending off to New York Times for publication. And when I wrote that, I started thinking, is there anything else in this world that is constant? Well, if there is, why not master? Why not master that? And I came with an answer. Going into the future, the only people who will succeed in life are those who master 3 skills that are constant, they have never changed, they will never change. And the 3 skills are: 1, people skills; 2, persuasion skills; 3, prioritizing skills. They have never changed, they will never change. Why people skills? All over the world, we don't have business problems, we have people problems. And
It's not B2B, B2C.
and when we take care of our people skills, people problems, most of our business problems are automatically resolved. 2, all over the world, we are hired for our skills, but we are fired for our behavior.
For our?
Behavior.
Oh yes.
3,
You're hired for
our skills.
attitude and you're fired for attitude, right?
Yeah, behavior. Now, you see, not only as employer-employee, but even as a consultant, as a vendor, we are fired for our behavior. 3, check out anywhere in the world. The lower a person is in life, 90% of the time goes in technical skills, less than 10% people skills. Higher you go up,
It's all about people.
it reverses.
It's all about.
Or reverses. See, technology and technicians we can always buy with money. But the wealthiest person in the world must build and create relationships.
And that's something machines will never be able to do as good as humans.
They can never do it.
Humans will always have the edge.
And sadly, what's happening, Alok, is today's generation is so comfortable with computers, they can spend hours and hours. But the sad part is they're uncomfortable with people today.
So how are we to teach that? Is it teachable skills? Is it something?
Of course, this is teachable. How else do we learn all these things? And you see, we have to bring our people skills back to our people. Otherwise, what are you creating? You are creating walking robots, and there are people who are frustrated, they are living with depression. Are you aware that almost 30% of American population is taking antidepressant pills? Yes, sir. 100 million people.
Where is the time to teach these people skills? We are so much. The children's schedules are so packed with content, IIT preparation, tuitions. Where do you take out time? From schools, from home? Who's going to do that? And by the time they're 25, they're already embedded. They're set in their ways. It's very difficult to change at that point of time.
Not really.
You deal with that.
Not really. Not really. You know something? Go check out what studies show. On an average, an American watches 3 to 5 hours of TV every day. Hello?
So you mean there is time?
No. Average American watches 3 to 5 hours of TV every day. And you think it is any different in India? They also watch 3 to 5 hours TV every day.
It's not TV, it's media in some form like
Okay,
YouTube or
so what the hell are we doing?
There is time.
Yeah, of course there is time. So, you know, we messed up our priorities.
That comes down to the next P of the prioritization.
Yeah, well, persuasion skills, which really means people have to understand that persuasion means what? Ability to influence, persuade, negotiate, convince, and sell. Persuasion skills.
Why is that so important?
Well,
People skills I understand.
Well, you tell me in life, who's not selling? Candidate at a job interview, what's he doing? Selling. A boy girl proposing to get married, what are they doing? Selling. Lawyer arguing in front of the judge, what's he doing? Selling. Politician giving speeches to get votes, what's he doing? Selling. What am I doing on the TV with you right now? Selling. You see, based on my ability or inability to persuade, either you are accepting what I'm saying or you're rejecting what I'm saying right now. You see, this is what brings us a good professional delivers results, which is what says in life results are rewarded, efforts are not. Which means what?
So I could be an employee with good results. Why do I need persuasion?
No. Hear me out. In life, let me qualify my statement. Results are rewarded, efforts are not. Which means we judge ourselves by our intentions, but the world judges us by our actions. Now, let me move on to the third one, prioritizing.
There's a double standard there, right?
No.
The way we judge ourselves and the way we judge others, right?
That is hypocritical, yeah.
We're all part of that, right?
Now, let me just share with you the third part, prioritizing skills. Look at this, Amol. The amount of time-saving devices we have today, we've never had that many in history, and yet we don't have time. You know why? Because somewhere we messed up our priorities, and priorities are based on values. Priorities are always based on values, and when we are not able to distinguish between priorities and right values, what do? We forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life, what's important in life.
Just go with whatever comes in front of us. There's no.
We forget to distinguish between what's urgent in life and what's important in life. Now, urgent may or may not be important, important may or may not be urgent. But interestingly, whenever we ignore what is important, it converts into urgent.
If we don't pay attention to it, at some point it's urgent.
Right? Health is important. Exercising every day is important, but it's not urgent. I have a crucial meeting tonight, I can't exercise, it's all right. But if I ignore my health long enough, I'll end up in the hospital. 2. In life, our relationships are important, but they're not urgent. You ignore them long enough, what happens? You start talking through your lawyers.
Yeah, children grow up.
Interestingly, whenever we ignore what is important, converts into urgent. So you know something, it's not that we don't have time. We messed up our priorities. I'm not here preaching. I've messed up myself. I'm guilty.
We're all guilty.
I will be the first one to say, well, if I had a rewind button in my life,
What would you do differently?
would I live my life the way I have lived? Answer is no, I would not. But if I would live the same way, that means I never learned anything anyway. I haven't learned anything. So I would not live my life.
What changes would you do?
I will make multiple changes. I will redefine my priorities. I will live by my priorities, and I will stick to it, and I will be more rigid to it. And stop the too much flexibility aspect of it. People keep talking, be flexible. Yes, there are certain things, yes, certain things, no. And I was addressing some people from the Pepperdine University in California, and they were keep talking of change. And I just made, after listening to them for 45 minutes on change, keep changing, I said, look, hang on. All progress is change, but all change is not progress. There's a lot to be said about tradition, and hold on to your tradition. There's not value to it, and don't destroy it. That's all.
So I'm still curious to know how would you approach that becomes very critical about prioritization based on your values now. So is it something that you should do on a weekly basis? Should you fine tune? Do you think long term planning? What do you mean prioritization and some kind of goal setting? And this is what my priorities are. This is how I should live my life rather than being dictated by what others want me to do. Right? That's the kind of approach you would do. Do you believe in goal setting, short term, long term? Is that the way forward?
No, I just want one more thing. My life, it's my life. I'd like to be the way I want to live, and not the way others want me to live. Of course, I understand that. But you see, today the word my life, it is my life, has taken another meaning of total selfishness. Me, to hell with you. This is not the way either. And that is what is destroying relationships in the West.
That's the people skills you're talking about, right?
What is happening? 60%, 70% divorce rate. What the hell are you talking? But now they are redefining even the marriages. Earlier it used to be male, female. Today now male, female. Redefined marriages. Everything is flexible.
You
come
only
on.
live once kind of philosophy has come, right? I only have one life, so why should I?
You know the sadly part? When people keep saying you only live once, I disagree with that. Well, you only die once. You live every day. What are you talking? You live every day. You only die once.
Awesome.
But every day you live. But you need to know how to live. And sadly, we have forgotten about it.
So I think great lessons for students and parents. Amazing discussion with Mr. Shiv Khera. He's inspired the whole generation now. And to see how inspiring, but in this changing world is phenomenal. To see how young he is at heart. So great, sir. Thank you so much for this discussion. And thank you, RTV, for having me as well. It was fun interviewing Mr. Khera. Thank you.